right. Good old day. Nothing more fun than coaching buzz, coaching hirings, and coaching firings. Nothing pushes the subs, nothing pushes the views more than that. More than any decommitments, more than anything else that you could possibly get. Those are always the things that push the envelope forward. This morning, a lot of the news sites reported early, still not official until FSU puts it out on theirs. But from what everybody's understanding, what's going on, Chris, with Sporadics? From what everybody's understanding is currently we have a new offensive coordinator and we have a new defensive coordinator. One of the funniest things that we all saw is that, again, as I always joke and say, that you don't have to be in the know to be in the know. You can, none of us had these guys picked before this weekend, but all these guys do have interesting ties too, and all have things that they can do that will make that can make Florida State great again. That can help Florida State between recruiting, between transfer portal, between styles, between a lot of other different things. Styles make fights. And I think there's a lot of things from initial that people just heard about these guys. So let's take a deep dive tonight into discussing who these guys actually are. What are some of the pros? What are some of the cons? I'll probably more so stick with the pros, and because I know a lot of you guys do enough of the cons on your own. But we'll talk about, why these can be seen as very, very good things, and how it could kind of help us in that boost to where we go when we try to find between 30 to 40 individuals that do want to become Noles and that have an interest in the climb. It's, as I always tell people, sometimes it's not necessarily about who you bring in and what the name of the person is as much as it is what they're bringing to the table. And I believe both of these coaches, just from the people who are in their pocket, I say guys that would travel with them traditionally, bring somebody that's really, really good for a lot of the stuff. So, like, for one of the guys, I just use a guy who's not coming to Florida State, but a guy like Will Muschamp. Will Muschamp is a guy that's always well thought of in circles. Champ always, when Champ goes somewhere, they always talk about T-Rock. And that's somebody that he always goes with him. And they make a good 1-2 punch and a great tandem. Before we really start getting into things, I see we've got a good amount of people watching on Twitter. Please, love that you guys watch this on Twitter. If you would, come over to Den Media Group and let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion. Put your comments in there. Consider becoming a subscriber. Consider becoming a member. Membership has its perks. We call them greenies. Membership starts at $3.99, going all the way up to the all-in at 100. Please, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on Facebook, please smash the like button. Please share it. Let people go. Big Sterl on Twitter says, how do I get to Den Media? You go to YouTube and you type in sportsden_live, or you type in Den Media. And right now, because we're live, you'll see like a red that will come on there. Shout out to my guy AC on Facebook. Push that like button on Facebook. AC, bring your ass on over here to the YouTube. Let's have our conversations. Your questions go into there. For those who want to know, they take 30% of whatever you put over here in the comments. But what happens is when you make a comment and you've paid in the super chat, it stays up a lot longer so I can see it. So, like, if you just make a regular comment, I won't be able to see it. After, if a lot of people are commenting and going on. So, like, I'll try to comment to whatever you guys have. So one of the things I like to do is I want us to ask questions. I want us to talk about some of the different things so that we can actually be informed. And it doesn't mean that this is going to happen. Gus Malzahn has been actually, I don't know how many. He's never been fired as a coordinator. He's been fired as a head coach, but obviously he's been at a couple of different stops. And Tony White has been Tony White. Ironically, is black, but he's been at a couple of different spots as well. But typically, he keeps glowing up. And there are some good things that both of them possess that we have not seen consistently at Florida State. We did, we've had out of the 5 years that Mike Norvell has been here, we have had really 2 years of prosperity, and then we have had 2 years of drought, and we've had 1 year of mid. That'd be 5 and 7. Obviously 3 and 6, 3 and 6, 2 and 9, 2 and 10 are not close to the standards, and things of that nature. I'm gonna try to remember this question here, Gerard. Since you're a greenie, I'll go ahead and put this up here. We can go back and forth. We can bounce around. I got you guys I got enough time for about an hour or so. So if you guys are tuned in and we're doing good and we're having a great vibe, great combo, a lot of stuff is getting answered. We can continue to do it. James, with Knighton possibly coming over, does he help us on any DTs with it being so close to early signing day? Back in it with Myron Charles, possibly. I doubt that one, the Myron Charles situation. But what we will do is we will go into the coordinators, who they could possibly bring in, people who have entered the portal since they've become that, and we can discuss about what does that look like for Florida State moving forward. Those will all be hypotheticals. I'm not, if I had some real good hard information for you, I'd probably put it in fifth quarter first, or put it in our you would get it, Gerard, put it in our member only section of Den Media Group, but on the YouTube. But we'll get to a lot of these things here moving forward, though. I talked enough about FSU versus Florida and that loss on Big Games BS earlier today. I also discussed what else did I discuss? Also already discussed anybody who wants to troll me about Drake Stubbs. Man, I'm sad about that young man. Good kid though. Still gonna root for him, even though he's wearing stained colors. But I'm gonna go with this right here. Lerone put up a really good post here. White did well at Syracuse and Nebraska, two places where you're not recruiting 4 or 5-star kids. That's really why I'm excited about both of them. A lot of people have been talking about the lack or the inability for Florida State to be able to be dominating in the recruiting, in high school recruiting. Mike's ability not to get that. We have a lot of guys here that got to be able to play. You can't swap out 85 guys or 105 per NCAA this year. But what you can do is you can bring in some quality guys mixed in with what you already have and get those guys prepared and ready to go out and back. And when I see what they did at Syracuse and I see what he's done in Nebraska, Nebraska's a top 15 defense. They just got there. Remember, Nebraska was getting shitted on. And, they had some games that got out of hand, but a lot of people are bringing up the Indiana game, and a lot of people are bringing up some of them. What they're not bringing up is Colorado, who had one of the most potent offenses. And they're not bringing up Ohio State, who's got every wide receiver who's going to get drafted in the NFL. Like, you can't pick and choose. Like, he is what he is. But they're also not bringing up the context to the Indiana game. You can't have 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles and expect a shutout. It's very difficult to do those things at Nebraska as Nebraska's trying to rebuild and get the culture ready. Chris brings up a very good point. I would say about this, people don't know what this means, but Chris puts like Big Game says, if he gets a battery behind him, what he could do. Now Gus and Tony have that brand / battery behind them to recruit. So what that means is when I say a battery behind you, as one man, you could go in and you could create these things and you can make shit work. But if you have a full brand and you have money and you have other things behind you, imagine what he could do with 5 stars. Like, imagine what he could do if his development if he's focused a little bit less on development and more on engagement, because the guys are already coming pre-cooked, coming pre-developed. And I think that's something that going to speak a lot for Gus as well. Gus, we'll start off with this. For those who don't know, Gus Malzahn is the current offensive coordinator hire the FSU football just brought in. They did a nice little thing for him. Nice little graphic. Putting this up here on the stage, but they put offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn, and I'm going to give you guys some insight here in a second. But boom, renowned offensive innovator with a championship pedigree, Gus Malzahn has been hired as our next offensive coordinator after overseeing a top 10 rushing offense and a top 20 total offense each of his last 3 seasons. I want to reiterate that for the naysayers. You know, we gotta link it. Got to link it for y'all. Let a naysayer know. A top 10 rushing offense and a top 10 overall offense at the University of Central Florida is what Gus Malzahn has been able to do. Now, just again, so that's something that, imagine if we had a top 10 offense this year at Florida State, or a top 20 offense at Florida State and a top 10 rushing offense at Florida State. Imagine where Florida State would be at right now. We probably wouldn't be having a conversation about this with coaches leaving. We would probably, as opposed to, we would be talking about coaches leaving to go take head coaching jobs, as opposed to where we're going to watch the national championship, where we're going to watch our rivals. Hell, if we had this, I would be talking about how I'm so happy that I'm going to be able to host my alma mater, Florida State, here in Jacksonville, Florida, at the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl on January 2nd, playing in prime time on NBC. I would be saying those things with a big old smile and my chest all out, but unfortunately, we haven't done that. Now, what was happening up until this point, in particular after Alex Atkins was unceremoniously fired? I still like Alex. I personally didn't like that firing. I know there are people who would disagree with that because they said the offensive line was putrid. I personally think our offensive line is nowhere near as bad as what people are saying. I do believe, however, that, you know, holding on to the ball too long and having some running backs that are having to play that are learning the vision process probably led to a lot of the different things that we've seen. We can agree to disagree. I'm not going to really get into all of those things with you. That's for a different show. If you didn't like them, I get it. That's your opinion. I happen to respect, like, Alex Atkins, and so did a lot of kids. Why he had such a good high school recruiting class coming in right now, that's kind of slowly tearing away, where we won't have any offensive linemen that we originally had for high school coming in. But I think we'll like some of the guys that we're in it for, because new chef brings new groceries. So new coach brings new approaches, brings these different things. But I like, as you see, my chest is out. LeRon, that was not Alex Atkins. Atkins was not on UF sideline. That guy did look a lot like Alex Atkins, but Alex Atkins was not there. I can confirm that. Hilarious, though, because he does look just like Alex Atkins. Everybody has a twin or a doppelganger. That's clearly Alex Atkins' twin or doppelganger. I was all for the chest out. I was all for the go-go. I was go for the go-go, but during the ho-ho-ho season, I wanted the go-go-go season. But that did not happen. And before I go into this, and I know a lot of people are like, well, y'all told us it was the go-go. Then you had the old white guys on the War Chant channel saying, I don't want no go-go offense. Then they started saying, I want the go-go. And then they started saying this and blah, blah, blah. And yes, okay. Again, this is what I was trying to say. Like, some of this stuff, guys, the only thing that I can do that's truly better than what you guys can do is explain what the fuck is going on. Because there's only one person who truly knows what's going on and who he's going to hire outside of compliance is Mike Norvell. And Mike Norvell knows who he wants, and he knows who he's aiming and trending toward getting. So, hold on, I got my baby boy coming here. Hey, Killer, can you come here real quick? I gotta deal with this. We're not very professional on this channel. Y'all can go to the other ones that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they won't have their baby boys who will probably be playing it. Their children probably won't be able to play for Florida State because they're not very athletic. But I'm breeding athletes and people who are going to be in media so that I can retire early. These are my little retirement plans. Killer, need you to do a couple things for me. One, can you give Daddy some water? You want to say hey? Give me subscribers.
Hi.
Hold on, come here. No, you didn't say that again. And you drop more cup. Okay. Here, come on, show them. Tell them all you want for Christmas is your 2 front teeth. See them? Show them the grill. All right, go get Dad some water, please. Don't break my cup, son. But anyway, so the go-go goes all the way back to Tulsa. Let me take you to Tulsa, Oklahoma for a second. There was a little colored quarterback that came from the DMV area who got an opportunity to be coached by a guy who used to wear cornrows. Did you fill this up? Oh. Come on, man. Go give me some more water, man. Fill that up. Who got coached by a guy who got coached by a guy who used to have cornrows in his hair from Texas, played at Central Arkansas, who was coached by an elder gentleman by the name of Gus Malzahn. So the go-go was influenced by the old go. So the old go was Gus. Gus influenced Mike Norvell's offense, which influenced the go-go, which you really, when you sit back and you really think about it. So it's so funny to hear people say, thank you, baby boy. All right, go ahead, close that door. That the go-go was a gimmick offense, but that same gimmick offense was ran by Mike Norvell, and the same gimmick offense was mastered at first by Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn helped influence all of this, and people are like, well, Gus's offense is so much run dominated. The current iteration of it, Gus as a head coach has done more because, as we talk about on Sports Den on Big Games BS, you gotta love, if you're as a man, you gotta love top. Ain't nothing really better in this world than some good top for a long time. You get long top, you're gonna be good. And what that means is time of possession. So when you're a head coach, it helps you slow the game down, which helps your vision a little bit better. But if you go back and remember that this is Gus Malzahn, is the same offensive coordinator who was with Cam Newton when Auburn won their first name. So that's what you have. You have iterations where you can throw the ball a little bit more, where you're running it. You're running what we would traditionally call bug sweep, things that we already do at Florida State, but you're also throwing the ball. I mean, shoot, Georgia, with good top, you can just relax. A lot of people don't like to just relax. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, use some of these phrases in your regular football lives, and you're going to sound smarter than your friends. Get you some good top, and the good top will change your life. But I'm saying all this to say is that what people were bashing Brennan for at first, then coming around and saying that they want him over Gus, well, you're really wanting the same thing. And the only difference in all of this, now, granted, we could go into a deep dive, but that's not what we're doing right now. We're talking about the general overall broad brush about why this isn't a bad hire. As from a guy who still does want Brennan. Gus is what you want with Brennan, but you've already been able to see it on a Power 4, Power 5 level at a high level. We believe that Brennan could do everything, but we don't. We don't know. But all of it starts with being able to let the run set up the pass and not the pass set up the run. You want to get good top, basically, is what they want done. Now, the other thing that what Mike hasn't been able to find yet is that cohesiveness for complementary football. We don't have complementary football yet, but I believe these two coordinators are good opportunities for us to be able to finally see some complementary football, which won't put us in precarious positions when we're playing tough opponents. But Gus gives us the opportunity to see top on a high level. Like what's that girl? Like Corinne Steffens type top. What's her name? Tiana Trump type top on a football level. And those are the things that you want. If we had that right now, we would not be having the conversations that we're having as a fan base. And well, we'll probably be still having the recruiting conversations, but that's because everybody wants us to do what Miami's doing. What's ironic, I was listening to Spaces about Miami, and Miami fans are, talking about we got to do what Florida State did in 2023. So just I don't know about Cherokee's top. See, y'all going too far. Now I did say Corinne Steffens, that's Superhead top. Cherokee's top wasn't really that great. Cherokee's bottom was what got Cherokee in the game. For those who grew up with early 2000s adult educational films. But Gus, and again, one of the biggest things about the coordinator is not about who he is. It's about who he brings. And who he brings is a guy by the name of Herbie Hand. Now, who is Herbie Hand? And this is what we hope that he brings. I'm just saying these are the when he's done his stops, when he's had his best work, it's been with a teammate. And what happens is what you need as a good old offensive line coach? You need I like a good old white man. They just look like that looks like he's stern and shit. He's been all over. Let's look at his we can even see who's recruited over his time, because everybody's like, well, what about recruiting, James? Can the guys recruit? Can the old white man relate to the people? Yes. This pilgrim can. You know me, I like a good pilgrim. And Herb just got a good, well-developed. Look at that chin. Look at that head. Look at that smile. That's a good old, he tells some good. I bet he can make a hell of a pulled pork, even if he's a northerner. But look at the cool thing. I mean, I don't really fuck with him that much, but look at this. These are guys who he's recruited in his tenure, being able to get some of the top guys. 5 stars at Auburn. He's been at Texas, been at Penn State. He's been all over the place. But let's learn a little bit more about. I was trying to get his resume. But he is one of the guys that has helped with the offensive line. UCF's offensive line is one of the few things that their fan base really, really enjoys. He's one of the top offensive line coaches in the nation. Herb and his offensive line in 2023 played major roles in UCF showcase, one of the most productive offenses in the nation. The Knights ranked 4th in the country in rushing with 228.2 yards per game. And 8th in total offense in 2023. The UCF line paved the way for star running back R.J. Harvey, 1,400 yards, and 2 of the top 4 wide receivers in the Big 12 Conference, with Javon Baker, 1,139 yards receiving, Kobe Hudson, 900 yards. We would absolutely love to have that kind of shit with us coming into all of these different things. So he is really, really good. Comes very, very highly recommended and well respected in tons of coaching circles. I need mean, nasty linemen. I think Herb helps us provide that. That's one name that is always associated with him. But another name, and Herbie Hand is one that a lot of people are coming in. This other name is somebody that I've been wanting for quite some time. I actually wanted him when Tag came through, but he didn't go. He didn't come here. He ended up going. He went to Indiana. Then he ended up going to UCF. Might not. That doesn't mean he's coming back here, but good things still coming in. He was at Ole Miss for 4 years. But Grant Hurd is a really, really good receiver. Played at Ole Miss in late 90s, early 2000s. Has been coaching for a while. And again, another guy who's in that not old, like he's old. We're old adjacent at this point. Now in the 90s and the 80s, we were old as fuck. But we're not really really old right now. But Grant Hurd would be somebody who I believe will be another good addition. So when you get him, you got him. So one of the key things about a coordinator is you got to make sure your line is set. We want to make sure our wide receivers are pretty good. Now, what you do after that, I believe, Yak has got some good guys still out there that he's going to get. They can get back in that recruiting trail. I think Yak's a good coach, good recruiter. I think Coach Yak is somebody that you don't want him not being around. You want him around. Then you want, Coach Thompson, don't know. And you got Tony Tokarz, and I believe Tony's sticking around. I think Tony's a good up-and-coming young mind when it comes to football. Again, he was able to go get the quarterback immediately after losing Trammell. Was able to go get a 4-star guy, I believe higher ranked than Trammell, but he was able to go get what he needed to get to be able to continue to pursue and push forward. So, I think, I'm not sure what direction they go with the tight end coach, but I think with just those 3 additions, you just made your offense better. I will admit, I'm willing to go that route. Or let me rephrase it, or at least it's exciting. I have the utmost respect for Ron Dugans and what he's able to do as as a coach, also as a man, also has a lot of different things. I fucks with Ron, but right there, that gives us that if you get those 3 coaches right there, how can you just really, outside of just being a hater and not liking the splashiness, how can you not fuck with those things? And it checks all your boxes. Most coaching hires come with, there's a relationship there. So you have a relationship, you have success, you have you have recruiting acumen, and you have people that they can bring to you to make you bad. Not bad, make you bad, make you better. Excuse me, make you to that'll go. Actually, you know what? Yeah, nah, them motherfuckers got shit that'll make you bad. I had a couple questions. Let me look at this right here. You're talking about some of the guys. I'm going to be honest with you. My guy Yanni, you asking me about John Matter. I do know we need to get some quarterbacks. I'm not 1,000% well versed on Washington State football this year, but I do know if we're looking for a quarterback, we're probably looking for a bigger guy with a big arm that can run. If we're going to get somebody out of the portal that fits that fits Gus's system. That's just me being truthful. That's what I would think is who we would be looking for when it comes down to that. Yeah. So I don't really think. Guys, somebody they put in the chat. What could he bring? What was it? Isn't that Ice's son? Tim Harris Jr. Yeah. What could he bring Tim Harris Jr. Over as a wide receiver coach? Wouldn't I could see that. I would prefer Grant Hurd, not because I don't like Tim Harris's son, but I could see that. But when we talk about those coaches, those are the people that we got. Don't ask me, Negro. Don't ask me what I think about him. I don't. My opinions are trumped. Hold on. You hold on 1 second. Over here asking me what my opinions are. My opinions don't matter. Because we was talking about being this guy right here was just talking about 3-3-5. And a lot of people were scared about that. Damn, Steve. Bro, that's all I've been talking about is the offensive coordinator for 30 fucking minutes. Yeah, I like it. I put it like that. I like the OC. I believe we can get, you said 7-10. That's a hell of a swing there. I would go 8-9 if I had to do that. James Coleman told y'all this months ago that Derek Gray would not be gone. Derek Gray is the GM, so Derek Gray is not going anywhere. So that's the GM. Whether you guys like him or not is irrelevant to the situation. But D. Ray is the guy. Moving forward. Now with this offensive line, with this offense, you've got guys that they have committed. One just decommitted by the name of Chastain Brown. He's a 6'7", 270-pound offensive lineman from Warner Robins, Georgia. The other teams that he has that were on his list was Pittsburgh, Louisville, Boston College, Bowling Green. But he had been committed to UCF for a while. He recently decommitted. That's somebody that you could probably see if Florida State can get him to not sign on signing day. That's a victory because all you really need is him to sign his grad aid. Signs his grad aid, we're really, really good. So you got that right there. They also have a commit in Boggs, who's a wide receiver from out of Cocoa. Really good, explosive wide receiver, somebody who's came on a visit with us, came to the North Carolina game, thought we were going to get a commitment out of him, did not, but he likes what they're doing at UCF already, could see a potential raid and flip right there. There's another kid by the name that's from the Pensacola area that was committed to Florida State at one point in Pittman. I think it's Randy, I believe that's his first name. But Pittman is already on UCF's roster. I'd be very interested to see what him and both Kalen Fox do in the transfer portal. Would much prefer Pittman and going with that. Now, some other interesting news notes for recruiting. UCF does have a three-star running back committee. They also have a three-star O-lineman from Cocoa committed. They have a three-star running back committed to them currently. But I remember hearing them talk about Demon June, big running back from out of North Carolina. Was a fat boy, lost a lot of weight. He's at 225 right now. Pretty strong, pretty big in the tackles runner. That fits more of the style of offense in which we're trying to go to. But we also got Usman trying to come in, and he was there on the visit. Man, if they really press this guy hard and they were able to impress him this past weekend, I really like the splashes that we can make. Do not think we're going to have don't have any delusions of grandeur. We're not going to have a top 15 class. But if they're able to do what they need to do, and they're able to close on some of these guys that I really feel we should be able to close on, Florida State's recruiting class will look better than what it did look like. It won't be quite as depleted, especially if this new DC hire gets made and they're able to stall out some of the guys who are committed to them, and they get to play the dishonesty game. One of the funniest things with all of this right here, right, is that I haven't heard one fan talk about how mad they are about the DC leaving Nebraska to come over here and after the promises they made these young men in recruiting. You know why you haven't heard it? Because y'all really embody what this cap means. You really don't give a fuck about these kids. You care about winning and you care about your alma mater. And loyalty is not exactly what you guys think it is. At the end of the day, this is business and entertainment. But we're going to talk about defensive coordinators. I know a little bit about defense. This guy knows a lot about defense. So I'm going to bring to the stage FSU legend, somebody that we can all try to get on this staff in some way, shape, or capacity because we know he want to coach. We know he can influence these guys. We know he can recruit. But we're going to bring up Antonio Cromartie, and what he could do is give me and you guys his fucking opinion about what this defensive coordinator does, because at the end of the day, all I can tell you about is the little bit that I know, but we know Crow, no defense. So what up, bro? Oh, shit, hold on. Say we can't hear. Were you grocery shopping? Can you hear? I don't know if we can hear. Hold on, yeah, because hold on. You gotta refresh your refresh. Yeah, I can't hear. I can't hear my dog. You gotta get him to redo his thing. Crow out there, Crow shopping for the Crow got a shop for a lot of people. So I know my dog gonna get him eating right. Does he look like he in Sam's Club? Let me kick him out of the studio, tell him to no, I don't need to kick him out. I just need him to reset it. Let me see if I can do it with the comments. Shit. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you're gonna see it. All right. We'll get Crow back on here. But Tony White is the guy that everybody's been talking about right now. Former defensive coordinator for Nebraska. Also been defensive coordinator at he kind of looks like if we're gonna joke around a bit, he looked like he'll be on a Key and Peele sketch. Like but the coordinator from Nebraska. All right, we can hear you now, dog.
You got me, dog.
Yeah, we got you, man. What's up, man?
Hey, man, you need to buy a new system over there, dog. You're making enough money now, bro.
I'm not doing that right now. I need to, man. I need them to get me on staff so I can go make that bread, man.
Man, I hear you, dog.
So what are your...
I love the hire, man.
I like it more after me and you talked about a 3-3-5 a little bit last week.
People got to understand about a 3-3-5, man. 3-3-5 is going to create problems for guys not being reached. When I can get in a bare front, being a 0 and 2 2 5s, bro. It's hard to get reach in certain areas, and you got to have a goddamn on monster at the nose tackle, just because he can actually be, like I told you, like we said earlier when we had our conversation about a week and a half ago, just a guy that can be a two gap player that frees up the damn linebackers. When your linebackers can run the alleys and run down and be in the backfield, it makes the defense a whole lot simpler. But there's so much that you can do with a 3-3-5 too, from a scheme standpoint, and then also just being able to disguise certain things and do certain things. How you gonna blitz? How you gonna rush? How you gonna run your games and everything else. So it makes things a little bit harder for offense to try to figure out, and being reachable from the offensive line, trying to get to the defensive line, makes things a little more difficult too.
Again, all the different stunts and the blitzes that you can bring, and also just one of the things that Florida State has that's a pretty good job. Surtain's done a really good job in the secondary. So you got that, but what we got to do is a little bit more, do a lot more to bring pressure with that front seven, and to stop the run.
Front and the backers. You know, it's this when you run a 3-3-5, it's actually trying to protect certain things that you can't do with the backers, so you try to hide the backers in that defense too. That's what the 3-3-5 is actually for.
So which a lot of people would say is probably the weaker part of our defense is our linebackers.
I would say the linebackers.
You say you would say that?
I would say the linebackers is probably our weakest point in our defense. I wouldn't even say defensive line. I thought our linebackers hasn't been that great the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, it's what we need. Also, forget about all this. What a lot of people don't realize is you're talking about guys. I think they haven't had. Imagine this stat right here being pushed out by FSU media in the 2024 season. FSU did not give up one rushing touchdown at home. That's pretty damn impressive. We can't say that we've given up a lot of rushing touchdowns, but Nebraska can say they've not given up one rushing touchdown at home, which I think is pretty impressive, because a lot of our games that have been really gotten out of hand have been our inability to get off the field and be able to stop the run. We look at Nebraska. We look at not Nebraska, excuse me. We look at Georgia Tech did to us. Again, as people know, they're learning the term top. Georgia Tech got good top from us. Boston
But
College got good top from us. A lot of teams got that, but Nebraska being able to stop the run probably should probably put them in some better situations with games.
yeah, but you got to think about this. Tackling comes into that play too. Getting off blocks comes into that also. Being able to create a new line of scrimmage also comes to that. It's something that we didn't do a good job of. So, it's like the run game is all about execution and being able to tackle and create a new offensive line, a new line of scrimmage with the front four, the front seven, however you want to say it. So that's what that's all about. And we
Got
didn't
a
do we
question.
didn't do we didn't do none of that this year.
We got a question here. Crow, do you think, given the popularity of the 4-2-5 and the loss of the outside linebacker in college football, that running the 3-3-5 gives you the ability to grab elite tweeners that didn't work out in our current system?
Yeah, 100%. But also, like I've always said too, if you actually come in and actually study the players and understand what they're good at, go back and go watch practice film, and you see what they actually can do, and you try to make your defense adjust to what you have and not what you want to run, it makes things a little bit more simpler too. So you gotta actually play to what you're predicated to what you have on your roster. If your roster is not what you really want to run at this point in time, you gotta adjust some things and play to the player's strengths and try to make sure that they understand that this is what we're gonna do 85% of the time, and the other 15%, this is what we're gonna do right here. So it's like you gotta play to the player's strengths. There's gonna be times where you can't play to the player's strengths because of what the offense may be running or what the call may be, and you got to ask these guys to do certain things they're not comfortable with doing. But uh, you just got to figure out that way and figure out who's going to be my tweeners, who's going to be this, who's going to be certain things. But that's all about going in and actually studying the players that you have. You got a whole damn off season to go study your players. Nah, ain't no excuses.
None at all. They ain't got nothing but time right now.
None but time. You ain't going to no bowl game, so you got 4 months before you even basically before the spring game and everything else to do evals. You got a whole 9 months damn near, 8 months damn near before the season even started to do your evals and understand what you have. So you got a long off season.
The offseason should be about one, looking at what they have, what they can bring with them to be able to enhance and do the right things at Florida State, but
Facts.
also kind of going into what they got, what they have right now. And because obviously they don't have an opportunity to, like I was saying earlier, the only thing they could do is maybe try to get a couple kids to maybe not sign on Wednesday, maybe push it. Because obviously all you got to do is sign Grant Nate. If you want to go early, you can go early. This would not prevent you if you don't sign on Wednesday. But if they can get a couple people to stall out, that would be a really good win right there. Nebraska's got some guys on that defense in this recruiting class that are pretty good. They've got two linebackers, one by the name of Christian Jones and
Yeah, Christian
Dawson
Jones.
Merritt. Don't know
Yeah.
if you say you know him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us what are your thoughts on him as a player, as a recruit?
I mean, I like him. I mean, I just think from physicality, understanding the game, I think he understands the game better than a lot of high school kids. And you watch him play. I think he's athletic. I think he's a downhill runner, and he understands angles and try to run the alleys very well. And that's what you try. That's what you got to do. I'm not, like I said, when you're looking at young linebackers coming in for recruit wise, I'm not worried about linebackers getting off blocks. You can teach them that, right? You can teach them how to get off the block, shed blocks, how to hammer things, how to spill things. You can teach them that. I want to see the athletic side. Can he get sideline to sideline, and can he get downhill when it's time to get downhill? Other than that, I can teach him. You can teach him everything else.
I also like white linebackers now. We gotta get some. We gotta get some. I need some guys, but he's probably not gonna go. He's from Nebraska, so that's a tough guy. The Dawson Merritt kid. They were talking about him. I think on one of these sites. I think he's if I remember correctly, he's a Texas kid.
Yeah.
No, he's a Kansas kid.
No, Kansas.
From Stillwell. Little rangy, needs to eat a little bit. But we need linebackers, so I ain't mad at that. They also got but that's 2 4 stars right there where we don't we haven't really been recruiting as well in those positions, but they got one guy. I ain't even gonna try to say his name, but his name's Cade. I don't think he will work here. I don't know how many North Dakota players we've ever had at Florida State University, but he got some size on him.
But you got to understand this. The way that we play, the style of football that we're used to playing, sometimes are not going to fit the athletes that everybody else recruits. Right? Just because they're recruiting them at Nebraska may not be a great fit for what we have at Florida State.
Fair.
So it's not like we playing in the Big 10, Big 12, whatever they played in. It's different football than how we play in the ACC. So most of our linebackers, yeah, we can have great size, we can have that, but you still got to have linebackers that can get down here and run sideline to sideline in this conference. And
definitely got to be able to run.
And that can be playmakers, right? Like we need the Telvins and all them. We need all them. We need the Brad, whatever. What's his name? Damn, fuck that. We just need Ernest Sims and Sam McGrew. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need the Buster Davis. You know what I'm saying? We need the Kendall Popes. Like, we need them type of linebackers. Like the AJ Nicholson, even Derek. I'm gonna say Derek Nicholson. Like, we gotta get back to having backers that's gonna be enforcers. Like I feel like we got guys that look like kings and play like queens.
Them cats was crazy too, by the way.
Man, but you gotta have that.
I love it. No, without a doubt.
You gotta have at least 10 of them on your team. I'll take 10 out of the 85.
I remember I used to pick on K Hall. I said, K Hall, you know the only reason you on defense is to make sure them crazy motherfuckers know how to line up, right? Hey
man, K Hall made sure everybody was lined up, boy.
Hey man, you gotta have if you got 10 Hellraisers, man, you can have one person that's job is to make sure that they do the right thing. But yeah, I mean, Telvin, you brought up linebackers in different generations. That was something we talked about on the sideline last weekend at the Florida game. Is that the defense at Florida State used to be, everybody talks about the culture, the attitude, what embodies something. That truly was the attitude. Because even when the offenses weren't great, you knew what Mickey's defense was going to look like. Yeah. Mickey's defense was going to have some motherfuckers on.
But think about this. We ran cover 1 and cover 3. It was simple. It ain't all this. You gotta run fire zones. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. I gotta disguise and show this. It's football is supposed to be simple. See ball, get ball, line up, execute. Like let me run the best plays that I know that we're gonna execute to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, hold on. I don't want to interrupt you. I just need you to say that again because it's a bunch of smart motherfuckers that always say they try to make this shit way more complicated than what it really, really is. So what did you say football is?
It's simple. It's see ball, get ball, dog. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's about execution and making this shit simple as possible. I don't need, like I say, if I know I got a lot of players that's not great football IQ guys, why would I make them think? My job is to make their job simple. So only thing they got to do is go play football. I'm gonna give you the answers to the test, right? Only thing you got to do is fucking execute during the week. Because when you go out on Saturday and go play, you should all know every single formation. You should know everything we're gonna do because we only got 5 to 10 calls that's going in for defense anyway. And we're gonna tell you what we're gonna run, and we're gonna see if you can really stop it.
That's really what, even with on offense, like we have these big ass Waffle House looking menu shit, but when it comes down to it, you find 6 to 10 plays that you really, really like, you feel comfortable with, and you're gonna run some variation of them over and over again, unless you get into a really tough situation.
Like I tell people all the time, man, the offense and college football run 20 to 25 plays, and realistically, it's only really 10 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
You might have 10 passes, 10 runs. but your runs are going to be designed off the play action and everything else. Your passes designed off play action or your RPO and all that stuff. So it's like everything's out of gun. So your quick game is catch the ball, throw the ball. That's quick game. That's your 3-step. Now passing game, if it gets a little more deeper routes, he's going to take the ball, take a two or 3-step drop. That's a 7-step drop. It's not much they can do. You don't have quarterbacks on the center no more. You can't really run true play action pass. Play action ain't nothing but RPO. So eliminate what they do to the boundary and make them throw to the field. That's all you got to do. But it's like understanding what offenses do, understanding what offensive coordinator is thinking on certain sides of the field. That is what's going to make you dictate and predicate of how you're going to call a football game. Because you get into a game, and it's like, okay, he's like to run this, and this on 70% of the time he runs this. Okay, the other 30% he's gonna run this, but this is what we got beat on this side of the field the last 3 weeks.
Oh man, somebody done called him. All right, he'll get back on.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
But it's just like people got to understand like what offensive coordinators are thinking, how they're gonna disguise certain things, who they're gonna move around, what they're gonna try to do. There's certain things that offenses do. I was watching a little clip on Coach White. He was disguising. He was talking about a team where he knows certain running plays happen on when this guy does certain things, and that's just simple football. It's understanding what they do personnel wise and where certain people line up on certain things. And once you figure that out, you already know what they're gonna run 60% of the time, 60 to 70% of the time. So you just call your defense to that. So when you get that formation, you get a check, you understand it, and you go from there. Like that's all football is, man. It's not hard, dog. People, like you said, man, people try to make these fake ass gurus want to be so, oh, this is my defense. I got this, man. You ain't doing them but running fucking cover 3, cover 4. You ain't doing nothing special. There's nothing special about this. You can't do too much to run special. You just gonna run a text, a me game, a you game, ISO for the one of your best defensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? You can't do much. You can line up you can line up in the under. You can line up in over. You know what I'm saying? A bare front, like which your 3-3-5 is going to help out a lot with because you're in a 0 and 2 5s, and you can shade the nose on the center snap hand to make things a little more difficult for him to get his hands up and things like that. But it's just certain things that you can do to make things difficult for the 3-3-5 that make the offense be more thinking about how they're going to get to certain things, how they're going to reach the linebackers, especially if you got 2-gap players and how they're stunting and running their twist stunts and their tech stunts and all that stuff. So it's just like those are the things that this 3-3-5 can give to you. It's going to give certain offenses problems that's not used to seeing some of the stunts or seeing some of the twist game and the blitz game from a 3-3-5.
Now, something I am excited about that Tony White will which the sources are saying, everybody's leaking is saying that's going to be our next coordinator. FSU will probably make the official announcement tomorrow morning, like they did with Gus. If he comes, then that means Terrence Knighton, aka Pot Roast, that we would know over here in Jacksonville, played defensive tackle
That's my
in
baby,
the
man.
NFL for years. Played with Matt Rule at Temple, but
Yep.
also coached for him when he went to Carolina. They came over to Nebraska with him.
Yep.
I think that gives us a new young guy that could come into the room and talk. I'm also looking at a lot of the guys that they had hit the portal, most of them being their D-line guys. It kind of makes a little bit of sense that might happen. Do you know anything about Pot Roast as a coach, or have you heard anything about
Man,
him?
the only thing I heard is great things about him. I know T Knight, me playing against him and but having a relationship outside of that too. But I mean, one, he's a hell of a recruiter. And I mean, you got a guy that's played the game, that understated the game, that played the game for a while. So and got into coaching and is doing a hell of a job doing what he's supposed to do. And he knows the ins and outs of this shit and what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to look, what it's supposed to be and what it's not supposed to be. So I think, if he comes over along with Coach White, then I think what you're gonna have is two guys that can go out and go recruit, get the guys they want to, and get the guys that we need to get. Guys that's gonna be NFL guys, not these prima donna ass look like kings, but like queens, goddamn players.
I think that's one of the key things is that you can't tell him that he doesn't know what it looks like. Bitch, I played and I coached it. I can tell you exactly what it's supposed to look like.
And I think he will get the most out of the players just because of who he is. I think the relationship that he has with the kids, and that's what it's all about. It's like I always try to say, man, I would run through a wall for Mickey Andrews to this day. But it's also the relationship that he built with us. It's also the love that he showed us. Even though he got on our ass, it was the love that he also brought to us. It shows that is football. Yeah, football is important, but your aspect, your life and everything else is more important to me. So I want to make sure that I pour into you not just as a coach, but as a father figure. And those are the things that I believe when you get former players or even just coaches that care about their players, that's what you get. I think that's what you're gonna get with Coach Knight and Coach White, and you saw that everywhere he's been, he's had success, especially Coach White.
Yeah. And he's been doing it at stops where you don't necessarily get the best. Which I think is what they need. You need development.
And what's the most important thing about football? Development, relationship, and development. That's the most important thing. Like all the other stuff, that's just icing on the top. If I can develop this player over the next 2 to 3 years, and he can improve every single year, that's development. Not a guy that hit this down ceiling his freshman year, and then he doesn't improve anymore after that. That means he's done. There's no improvement. I need somebody that can develop every single year, not from a physical aspect, but more so from a mental aspect of the game and understanding the game, how to learn how to watch film, how to break down film, how to sit down and dissect certain things that offenses do or what defenses do if they're on the offense side of the ball, right? Or being able to be that vocal or someone that leads by example in the locker room, how to carry themselves as a pro. Everybody want to talk about being a pro, but they don't know how to be a pro until they actually learn from different damn pros that maybe coach in the pros or how they carry themselves from different coaches. So, I mean, I think that's the most important thing when you're looking at the character of players and what you're looking for in players is, has this guy hit his ceiling, or can we improve this guy mentally every single year to make him a better all-around football player, not just a one-dimensional football player.
Everybody can tell you how to do it, but they never did it. So that's one thing, looking at that. Trying to think, isn't there somebody from Tallahassee that coach out there?
At where?
At Nebraska?
Nah, I remember T. Fish was out there, but he wasn't there no more after Rule came in.
Oh, all right. What's T. Fish at?
T. Fish is man. I think T. Fish back at the crib.
Oh damn.
I don't think T. Fish coaching this year.
Okay.
I don't believe he coaching this year. I think he took the year because he was trying to watch his. I think he said his son play high school football too.
Fair enough. Now more Tallahassee. God, now we had some cats come out of Tallahassee doing
we did, man. We had some cats come out of Tallahassee, and we had a lot of cats fall off that's supposed to be in the league from Tallahassee too.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna speak on them.
Yeah. I tell a couple kids all the time. I say, "Hey man, you're starting to remind me of such and such." And I'm like, "Go look them up." That's a name that we should have been talking about right now in the highlight. But stuff happens, man. But yeah, man. So for those, some of these people just joined. Can you just give us your breakdown and your insight on what a 3-3-5 is? Because there's going to be a lot of bullshit that goes out where people are just like, oh, 3-3-5 a gimmick, 3-3-5 won't work. But just tell us what a 3-3-5 is from your professional experience.
3-3-5 honestly, it's nothing but a 3-4. To be honest with you, or a 4-2-5. Just now you just got to stand up outside linebacker. That's all it is. It's an extra backer just standing up because you still can go into your 4-2-5 scheme out of it. That's what people don't understand about the 3-3-5. Like I can still walk my outside backer down and put him down in a 9, stand up in a 9 to a 6-eye, and still put him where I want to be. That's what people don't understand about the 3-3-5. It can be used in so many different ways. Well, I can still show a 3-3-5, but also walk down at the snap of the ball and show you a 4-2-5. So it's just certain things that you can do. Like it's not gonna be something everybody's excited about what they want to do. I mean, what they want to see. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be productive because there's so much that you can do with your 3-3-5. Like I said, man, the biggest thing is you put your front into the bare front, so you can get in a 0 and 2-5s, two wide 5s, and do what you got to do, and not be reached. But like I always say, that nose tackle got to be that dog. He got to be able to either be a 2-gap player or he got to create a new line of scrimmage with the center. So I mean, I think it's gonna be exciting because you don't know where your rush is coming from. You don't know where your fourth blitzer or your fourth rusher may be coming from. It could be coming from a blitz standpoint, or it could be coming from your outside linebacker or your middle backer. So it's just like they gotta try to figure it out where that fourth rusher is always coming from. Shit, it can come from the nickel if it's a type of zone pressure that can make everything else put the outside linebacker or your wheel linebacker outside into the nickel position and let your nickel rush. So it's just certain things that you can do to disguise certain things and make everything look different than what it is to get your fourth rusher and sometimes your fifth rusher coming in. So I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think he's someone that understands what a 3-3-5 is supposed to do and understand what it's supposed to look like. And like I said, if you bring in T Knight, as a defensive line coach along with him, I think you're gonna get exactly what everyone's be looking for out of the defensive line, and that's gonna be able to create the pressure that you need to just with the front three or the front four really. Once you add the Will backer into the mix of that.
Yeah, that's good. Again, it's not about necessarily one. Obviously, you're bringing in another mind that's done it on the Power 5 level, different stops that you know is good. But it's also about what he brings with him. And again, if you're able to get him with Terrence Knight, who everybody's assuming, but Nebraska's probably going to try to put some pressure on him, give him an opportunity to elevate his game, do what he needs to do. So obviously, when you try to get a bad bitch, everybody wants her. So you got to know that that's coming.
Everybody
So,
wants.
but hopefully we get those guys, man. I appreciate you chopping it up with me, man. You drive safe, get to your destination safely, man. I'll let you.
I mean, all right, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, man, again, legend right there, man. Antonio Cromartie, again, coming down. Don't listen to me because I know y'all don't listen to me anyway. Let's listen to the guys who know about it a little bit more than I do, that are better, bigger names. Let me tell you, this is how you. So my guy, so just a little free game by big game to my young no Bulls, right? I saw a couple of y'all on social media, chill out. If you got to tell somebody how great you were, you might not have been that great. And I don't think you guys are bad. I think you don't need to go around telling everybody how great. Just tell them to click on the film, man. And you don't even got to go into all that rah rigmarole with these cats, man. Just get on your thing. Just be like, hey, people gonna tell you suck all the time. Just be like, that's not true. That's your opinion. It's all about what your colleagues feel about that, man. All about what your colleagues feel, man. Hell, I tell you this much. I know I wasn't bad, but I know I wasn't that man. That man is called the fucking prototype all around NFL circles, man. And I just appreciate when my guy Crow comes on and kicks that free game and kicks some knowledge because, again, a lot of us don't know what we don't know, and you've been fed a line of bullshit by what people who never did this shit call themselves as reputables. And I'm telling you, as a guy, I don't really need to go back and forth with who's reputable or not. I just know when you can go play me on NCAA video games from back in the day, or you can go click on the goddamn TV, and some of the reasons why some of y'all FSU fans are because of touchdowns or the hits that I've given out on people. Nowadays, I see some of those hits, and I would never I don't know what my mama was thinking, allowing me to go out there and be as violent of a person as I was. I don't want that world for my son unless he has to. But like, some of those hits look like they hurt the other person. But Crow is very knowledgeable. A lot of very knowledgeable FSU alumni. That's why I said I love. When he asked my opinion, I said no. I want you to give me your opinion so I can listen and I can learn some things. But yeah, when you got with White, if you combine White with Surtain, I don't really know what's going on with Odell. So a lot of people have asked me that question. I don't know. Odell comes with the furniture, so Odell can do whatever the hell it is that Odell wants to do. Odell's a really good coach. When it comes to that, and then I don't know exactly what that does for Odell and for Joe not Joe for Papuchis, who are both I think really good coaches. But you find a place, you bring in good coaches, and you find a place for them. But I think those are the different things. Also, that kind of again, a lot of people were putting out there, and I did talk to my dear friend yesterday, Derek Nicholson, and he's still Miami Hurricane coach. I think Derek is a great coach. I hope if there's an opportunity to be able to try to figure out how to compete to bring him back home. I would love nothing more than that. But D Nick's is another good coach. We need some good coaches, good recruiters, and good developers that can go out here and bring these young men through that. And if you've ever listened to Crow talk, it's more than just football stuff. But we're going to take a quick pause real quick. We're not going to be on here very much longer. But I'm going to tell you this right here. We almost got 1,000 people between all the different channels watching right now. About 725 of y'all on X right now. And I appreciate the 725 of y'all watching me on X, on my personal one, and 102 watching on the Den Media Group page on X. If I could just get, if we get that's 828. If I could just get 10% of y'all to just come over to Den Media Group on YouTube, just come on real quick, smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate that a lot more. And then any questions that we have right now before we turn the channel down a little bit, let you guys enjoy your Sunday before Monday Night Football starts and some good basketball going, and things of that nature. Yadi put, is it a wrong assumption to say Mike ain't receptive to hiring alumni? I've seen so many say they want to help change a better FSU in any capacity. I do not think Mike Norvell is against hiring an alumni. I think Mike Norvell is very pro player. I think Mike Norvell has done a really, really good job of incorporating and trying to get former players back in. We have to continue to do a better job of making sure that they know that we support by coming to the games, coming to the practices, and doing a lot of different things. And we can't just say we want to do something. We also need to have the resume to be able to back that, to be able to help that. We have to be able to. Crow has a resume. Crow's coached before, but I've never coached college before. So when people say, James, would you come back to coach? Hell no. I ain't never coached running backs on the college level. Why the fuck would I try to take Yak's job? I also think Yak is doing a good job. But if Yak ever wants me to talk to a kid or do anything, I'm more than willing to do that. Now, I think there are some times where we could probably do a better job of that, but they know their job better than we do. And they may not feel that they necessarily need to do that. But I don't think Mike's not receptive of hiring alumni or reaching out for alumni help. I don't believe that at all. I think Mike understands that, we have a very passionate fan base and we really love the fan base. And we just gotta win. So that's the big thing. I mean, shit. Win. That's all. Al Davis said it best. But yeah, man. So you heard that again. We got the different coaches things. They've got some really good players that hit the portal over there in with Nebraska. I would shit, my God, Asher, I love that kid. I be forgetting that people damn. My guy Drake over there speaking this truth. about Miami right now. That was he made it official, his flip to um the University of Florida. Let's see here. Let's check this out. I got this kid right here. I would love to take him. Let's see if it pops up here. Man, without Miles, this makes it a little more difficult for me. All right. Jamiri Butler plans to enter the transfer portal. 6'5", 260-pound defensive lineman, total 65 tackles, 7.5 sacks, one forced fumble in his 3 years. With that bigger guy, get a little more size on him if we can. He's getting one of those 5 techniques that Crow was talking about, bigger defensive ends. You could do all those different things. Somebody put big game. James, do you think Gus will incorporate the fullback into FSU's running game? I've not seen it in his offenses, but I do know that he's recruited smaller tight ends. We were talking about Pittman a little while ago. He's 6'2", 6'3", 240-pound tight end. That ain't nothing but a fullback. People don't want to give it no love, but that's basically what it is. Steve put awesome job, lots of great information. That's what we try to do here. Sub Drip Kings. Young Bleak put, who would you want to see as a new wide receiver coach? We talked about that. I would love Grant Hurd. Tim Harris was his current wide receiver coach at UCF with Gus. I think Grant Hurd would probably be a better name. But yeah, I'm not mad at that. Even you don't have coaching experience, bringing alumni with good ties to Florida as analysts couldn't hurt. Now, I don't think that. I think really one of the things that we could do a better job of, that Clemson does a good job of, is giving guys their start in the game. Like, so Clemson is known to like bring a lot of young coaches in that are former alumni and let them be able to cut their teeth. I think we could do some things like that. I think some of those guys, instead of kind of going out on social media and talking about those things, they ain't got no families and shit right now. So you need to go take your ass over there and go be an analyst for, between 60 and 100K. Build your way up so that you can become that next great coach. And we can have a pipeline of guys that are willing to continue to invest like that. Get your education and get your teeth cut with the coaching in the coaching area. So that would be my advice to guys. I just don't. That's not my ministry. They got a linebacker, Makai. I don't know if it's Gabor or what. I don't want to say his name wrong. You got one of them community names, but I don't know if he's a member of the community or not. But he got an interesting name. He's hit the transfer portal. He's had 73 tackles, 3 passes defended, 1.5 sacks in his 2 years with the Cornhuskers. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining with him. They got another guy, and this is funny because like about less than a week ago, Matt Rule was discussing what he felt about the portal and just what the guidelines and what are the different things that are the struggles in which he has to face when it comes to this. So let's listen to what he has to say.
But Malachi came in, let us know he was going to go in the portal. So obviously wish him the best. Great young man, local guy. Had some really big moments for us last year. Was redshirting and developing, and I think what we're going to this year, I think we're going to probably end up with between 30 and 50 guys in the portal. Just with the roster and all things that are going to have to happen. So. Wish Malachi. I can't say anything but great things about Malachi, and obviously he's not one that I wanted to go in the portal, but I really don't want any of them to go in the portal. I want them all to stay here and develop. It's just the new world we're in. It's going to be different. But
30 to 50 guys, Jesus, that's a shit ton of people to have to flip and revamp. But yeah, man. So on that note, man, I appreciate you all coming and spending some of your Monday evening with me. For those who don't know or you're new to the channel, please mash the like button on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel. We are how many subs do we have? We got 6,370 subs. Once we get that thing to 7,000 subs, we'll give away $500 to a live listener, a Big Games BS, which comes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9:30 a.m. ish. We also have we'll give away $200 to a greenie, which is a membership goes for $3.99 all the way up, and up to $99 for each membership level has different things that we try to prescribe and try to do for people. Be sure to make sure if you're a Seminole fan, make sure you go check out the different channels. My brother CJ Wilson just did a show today that I was on for a little bit. You got CJ's with Dope Talk. You've got George with Renegade Report that should be on tonight, I guess. I think they're going on tonight. Not 1,000% sure. But you also got Chris Frazier with Sporadics. Please make sure y'all check those guys out. All in all, man, I just want you guys people who follow me and listen to me. I'm not trying to tell you, I'm not trying to tell you not to be angry at wins and losses or happy. I'm not, but never get too high, never get too low. Remain the same. So it all comes. It's all cyclical. But I'm also not going to tell you to just panic and make bad decisions just because it's bad decisions. You got to make sure you're loving the minute that you're in. That's why when we were 13-0, I told you guys you never know if you're going to ever be this way again. So on that note, man, I really appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. We will see you guys next time.